So welcome everybody. I'm Committee Woman Anna Evans and also the chair of the Green Team. And I'm very proud to bring to you today a programme about our food waste reduction pilot that we are going to be running in Hainesport for the next year through a grant that we received from Sustainable Jersey via the PSEG Foundation. I'm supposed to say that whenever I talk about the programme. I have here Lauren Lastimosa of Unwaste, who's going to give a presentation on the programme, and afterwards, of course, we'll be happy to take questions if you've got any. Okay, Lauren.
Hi everyone, am I in the screen?
Yeah, I'll have a look.
No.
I need a background.
That's good, that's good.
Right here? Okay.
That's good.
Okay. Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming and learning about our food waste recycling program that we've now partnered with Hainesport for. So I'm happy to announce that we'll be expanding to Hainesport specifically for the curbside organics recycling service. And that was made possible with Anna and also Sustainable Jersey. And let's just keep going. So a little bit about who Unwaste is and who I am. My name's Lauren. I started this company in 2018. And I started picking up food waste from a couple residents in Asbury Park in my Chevy Cobalt. And we've since grown it now to span across 3 different counties, even expanded into Eastern Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. So, we've come a long way. I was composting on a farm in Howell, not knowing that it was illegal for me to be doing so until Trenton Renewables opened up in Trenton, and that's an anaerobic digestion facility, which I'll talk more on in a bit. And they're a Class C recycling facility, which means that they accept food waste, and there's one of 2 in New Jersey right now that accepts food waste for recycling. And our mission is to divert waste streams from landfills, fostering a more eco-conscious and sustainable future, and this is not limited to just food waste. We accept other streams as well, but food waste is our main focus for the time being. And our goal is to create a world where we use only what we need, reuse what we can, and recycle and upcycle the rest. And this is a list of our services. As I said, we started with food waste recycling on the top, and that's not only for residents, but also commercial businesses as well. We partnered with TerraCycle in Trenton. They're a global organization now, and they help us accept hard to recycle items, so things that you can't typically throw in your curbside recycling bins. So if your township collects 1s, 2s, and 5s plastics, we'll accept anything outside of that, including plastic film. And those bags make it possible for us to do that. There are also, a number of other waste streams, as you could see here, that we accept as well, but those are just additional services. And we also have a deliverable refill shop. We partnered with a refill shop in Manasquan, New Jersey, where you can refill sustainable goods, cut down on your plastic usage, and you get a bottle with whatever product you need delivered to you, whether it's hand soap, shampoo, conditioner, laundry detergent, dishwasher detergent, and we give you the bottle, and then when it's empty, you leave it out for us to collect and clean. In addition to that, we also offer plastic film recycling, and this is typically contracted through townships. Right now we service Ocean Township, servicing over 1,000 residents and just collecting their plastic film. And I want to go over the importance of recycling food waste, which I feel like if you guys are all here, you understand the importance of it. But on average, based on the information that we collected from our own collections of residents, regardless of household size, on average, 10 pounds of food waste is generated per household, regardless of size. And, I looked up this metric, but there's exactly 2,425 houses in Hainesport, and that equates to 24,250 pounds of food waste generated per week. which equates to 1,261,000 pounds of food waste per year, just in the township of Hainesport. So, a lot of people think as individuals they don't make a difference, but this adds up. And, I want to say that about 40 to 50% of your waste streams are compostable waste that can be recycled, composted, or even generated into renewable energy, which is what Trenton Renewables does. So our partnership with Hainesport is that we will be offering curbside food waste recycling to the residents. And for 20 residents, this will be subsidized at a discount of 20% off of a bi-weekly service. And this includes receiving the 5-gallon bucket, and which there were pictures of it, but it's not shown here. But think orange Home Depot bucket. I think a lot of people are familiar with that. That size. It comes with a paper bag liner, so you can toss your food scraps directly into that. And then we swap the buckets out for every service so that you get a fresh, clean bucket. So this means less food waste in your garbage, less smell. It goes into a sealable bucket, so there's even, there is a smell, I would say, when you open it, but once it's sealed, we've never had any complaints with stench or anything about that. And also it just reduces the amount of food waste you have, or waste in general. And with this, you could take advantage of some of the other services we have, such as the zero waste bags and the deliverable refill shop, which is not subsidized through the township, just to be clear. These are the acceptable items on the right. We accept all food scraps. It's a lot more inclusive than your typical backyard composting. Backyard composting is a little bit more exclusive because you can't throw meat, dairy, fats, oils, greases in your backyard unless you want to attract vermin. But we accept all of that because it's in an enclosed tank that I'll explain more about later. And then we also accept paper towels, napkins, and shredded paper. You can leave pizza boxes out full form. You don't need to rip them up and put them in your bucket. You could just leave them right on top and we'll take them. And any other food stained cardboard for that matter, because if it's food stained, it's deemed non-recyclable typically. But I think it's different per municipality. So again, coffee filters and tea bags, plant waste, and wooden coffee stirrers and popsicle sticks. I would say something that's not up here is that plant waste is more in reference to household plants, not landscaping waste. So, grass clippings, any hedge trimmings, those wouldn't be acceptable in our bucket. And I want to say typically most municipalities will accept that, but I'm not sure about Hainesport. The things that we don't accept for glass, plastics, and metals, any plastic, coated paper, so paper you might think, but a lot of times they're coated in plastic, which we wouldn't be able to accept. I would say it's hard sometimes to tell between the wax coated paper and the plastic coated paper, but you can just give it a little scratch, see if it crumbles like wax, then we'd be able to accept it. Unapproved compostable products, a lot of times you'll shop out and instead of single-use plastics, they'll have compostable plastics. We unfortunately don't accept those at Trenton Renewables. They get identified as plastics and they end up getting separated anyways. Granted, I think they are still better than plastic, but it's unfortunately not something that we accept in our buckets. But if it is compostable, plates, any fibrous material, such as wooden utensils, we would be able to accept. Or takeout boxes that are made of paper or fibrous material as well, you can toss in your bucket. We don't accept styrofoam, cigarette butts, or any diapers and sanitary products. I would say if you can grow it, you can throw it. That's typical rule of thumb. That's not my tagline though, it's another company's. So where does the food waste go? Trenton Renewables, like I mentioned, is our partner in Trenton. They're an anaerobic digestion facility. everything is in enclosed tanks, and all of the food waste goes in there. It generates methane naturally, which is captured and used to create renewable energy. All of the digestate that's left over is taken out of the tanks and then created into finished compost. So you're getting renewable energy from it as well as finished compost. And, you know, it starts in your kitchen. All of those food scraps and trimmings go right into your unwaste bucket. And then we drive it there and, like I just said, the renewable energy and compost. So the benefits of recycling food waste: you have less waste going to landfills. It's preventing methane generation, which is, 13 to 28 times more potent than carbon dioxide. It's upcycled into new products rather than sitting in a landfill and generating this methane. And it promotes a more circular economy rather than the current linear economy that we have of food waste. Food gets produced, it gets sent to us, we create the scraps and it goes into a landfill, and then that's the end of life. Whereas when we are able to capture the food scraps, it gets turned back into new products that get sent back into like our ecosystem. How to get started. There are pictures of buckets here. You could trust me. There's actually a QR code, but we have a QR code right here. You would enter the code BINTHERE25 for 25% off a year's worth of your subscription. And if you wanted to sign up for weekly, that's also offered as well, but the 25% off would be for bi-weekly. It would just be a little bit less if you wanted to do a weekly service. And then, like I said, the other services you would have access to as well. And these are just some of the products that we sell from Greater Goods Refillery. We also offer commercial organics recycling for businesses. These are all the different ways of collection that we have. And if you have a business or know somebody with a business, or want to encourage businesses in your community to start composting, then that's something that we can also offer. And that's all. So thank you so much for listening, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes?
So you said the containers are like the Home Depot bucket size? I think they're 5
Yes.
gallons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's collected every other week?
Yes. It can be every week as
I'm
well.
just thinking it might not be big enough.
Right. Personally, I have 2 kids and we have 3 buckets per
Okay.
week. And one of those buckets is just food that just gets thrown on the floor. So you can sign up for 2 or 3 buckets, it's just more expensive.
Okay, and
So,
then
yes.
somebody comes, like we just put it out on the curb and somebody will come and pick it up?
Yes. So you can put it anywhere on your property that's visible from the street.
Okay.
You could put it right on your front doorstep, and we'll come to your front doorstep and we'll swap the buckets out.
Is it like a certain day, or can we pick a day?
It would be Tuesdays, or the service day for
Okay.
Hainesport.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other question is, the company that you mentioned in one of the slides, it has like the compost at
Like-
the end?
TerraCycle, was it? Or was it?
I think you
the-
said like once the methane and everything
Oh, yes.
is done, there's
Yes.
compost. Like, what do they do with that?
They contracted it out to local farms. So unfortunately, we don't have access to the
Yeah.
finished compost.
Okay.
But
I'm just wondering if it's like offered for us to buy that or somehow.
Right. Unfortunately, no. We
Okay.
are looking to see, since there are other food waste processors coming on board
Mhm.
within the next coming years, there's just a lot of red tape with composting in New Jersey,
Okay.
which is why there are only 2 facilities that are permitted to do it. But one of the issues, and I'll be transparent, is that, they also accept from major like food corporations, and they accept packaged material. So sometimes there can be microplastics in the finished compost, and that's not something that they were actually willing to bring to market, which is why they contracted out to local farms.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, we're looking to see other options so that we can give back, since we are collecting your food waste and we are, you know.
Well, I'm a gardener, so
Right,
composting will be, the compost will be valuable.
right, for sure.
Okay.
So yes, we are looking to make that available once it's something that either we can do on our own or partner with a farmer that can do it and give us good compost back.
Thank you.
So what is the price per bucket?
The price per bucket for bi-weekly service, well, we invoice every 4 weeks, but it comes out to about, sorry, I remember that I gave you guys a discount. So our standard prices are $8 a week for the bi-weekly service, which comes out to $32 every 4 weeks. But for weekly, it's $48 every 4 weeks, but Hainsport has a discount on top of the subsidy. So I just need to look and see what exactly the discount was. I believe for, hold on, let me just do some quick math. I believe it's $24 every 4 weeks, so $6 a week for a bi-weekly service.
So $24 every 4 weeks, but
Yes.
the bucket will be picked up every 2 weeks,
Yes.
and that's with the 25% off that Hainsport has contracted.
No, there's an additional 25% off
Oh,
of that
that's
price.
before the
Yes.
25%
Yep.
off, okay.
Mhm.
It'll be $18 then,
Something like
if I
that.
can do math.
Yes.
Someone fact check me for 4 weeks.
So for the first year. By the way, I looked on their website and it does say that if you're a family of like 2 adults, 2 children, you're cooking a lot, you probably will need more than a bi-weekly service.
Right.
Okay.
But for people like myself, it's just myself and my husband there and he's away a lot,
Mhm.
probably a bi-weekly service might be
Right.
sufficient.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on you and your family, your household. Sometimes
Can we use other buckets, or do they only pick up their bucket?
it would just be our bucket because we swap them out. So if you used your bucket, we'd have to take your bucket and give you one of ours. So we provide the bucket, you wouldn't need one. I mean, you can use whatever you want in your house. A lot of times people purchase the like the compost caddy that they put right next to their sink. You can use compostable bags in that and then take that and put it in our buckets and we would accept that. Yes.
I was just going to ask that. So the actual bucket lives outside, like
It
your
can.
recycling bucket and your trash can, yeah.
Yes.
But you can have a receptacle in your kitchen that you actually collect your food waste in on a daily basis, and then you move that out into the bucket.
Right. So if it does go outside, I would just recommend that you seal it completely around, because if it's even open just a smidge, it could attract, squirrels that will try to,
Where do most people keep their buckets?
in their kitchens.
Actually in their kitchens?
Yes, sometimes their garage. I mean, we wash and sanitize every single bucket, so I would say it's clean enough to keep indoors. I keep mine in my kitchen, and it also depends on how much room you have. If you don't have a lot of room, then you could keep it outside.
Yeah, I would imagine the raccoons are smart enough to get into it if you leave it there.
Raccoons and every other
Yeah.
animal that's out there. So the buckets come with a paper liner, you said.
Yes.
So when you put your bucket out, you don't overfill it. Do you like roll up the paper liner how do you keep animals from, how do you seal it when you put it out to get picked up, or do you have to put it out just in time for them to pick it up?
It has a
Because-
lid. So
Oh, it has a lid on
yes,
it. Okay,
yes.
that's-
And the
so-
lid seals completely around. It's like a
Okay.
paint bucket.
All right.
So even if it
Okay.
falls over and it's
Okay.
sealed completely, it's not gonna leak anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I would recommend if you do leave your bucket outside, that you seal it completely around.
Okay.
Yes.
And the paper liner, I guess it's a circular line. You could take that paper liner, I guess, if you get another trash can or something, compost can for your kitchen, take that liner, put it inside, and then just transfer it to the bucket, and then put the top on the bucket. I
You
guess.
could. Unless you have a lot of water, it might make it rip
Oh, I see,
more
yeah.
easily. Really, it helps us keep our buckets cleaner because if there wasn't a liner, the food would get stuck to the buckets, especially in the winter, it'll get frozen to the buckets. So it just helps streamline our process and
Right.
just makes it cleaner.
Yeah, like our blue can,
Yeah.
the,
But
it
the
gets really
recyclable cans,
nasty, you
yeah.
have to like wash it out.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever given any thought to larger cans than I thought I heard like 5 gallon or about that size is what
Mhm.
your cans are?
I would say that right now, I mean, based on what we see people generate, I don't think it's necessary unless you're collecting landscaping waste,
Okay.
which I do see in California. It's like mandated through their municipalities.
Okay.
They do offer like 35-gallon toters. It's kind of like the curbside ones, but just a little bit smaller and skinnier. And people are allowed to throw their landscaping waste in there.
Okay.
But I would say as far as kitchen scraps, the 5-gallon bucket or even a couple 5-gallon buckets will suffice for a week's worth. I mean, I'm an exception because I also have a
She
partner.
wanted pizza.
Yes, and the pizza boxes you can put right on top of your buckets. You don't need to rip
Oh,
them up or
okay.
anything, and we'll take them.
Ah, okay.
I think
Yes.
one of her slides, there was like a 35
Yes.
gallon, container.
Yes. If you really wanted to, we could arrange something. If you wanted a 35-gallon.
No, I didn't want a 35 gallon container, I was just curious.
Yes. Yes.
So if you sign up for bi-weekly, and you
Mhm.
decide, oh, I need it weekly,
Mhm.
is it like a year you stay at the same thing, or is it easy to change to, you know, if you need it more frequently, like,
Yeah.
change your mind, you can just.
Yeah, so there's no contracts. You can sign up and cancel as you like. And if you wanted to switch from a bi-weekly to a weekly or even vice versa, then you could do that. Just let us know before your service day, which is Tuesdays, and we can switch that for you.
Okay,
Any other questions?
I have a question about the other recycling, like
Mhm.
for the other plastics,
Mhm.
6 and 7, and how does that work?
So you would purchase a zero waste bag, which is, so that's what they look like. There's 3 different sizes, small, large, and extra large. You can buy, the large and the extra large only take all plastic packaging. So you would purchase one of those, but since you would be subscribed, you would get 10% off the bag. And when it's full, you just leave it out with your bucket and we'll collect it.
Okay, any other questions?
When would the services start?
So if, anyone that signs up today, we would start as early as Tuesday. Yes. So you would receive your buckets then. I was going to bring buckets, but I had to leave them at a market. So yes, we would drop them off this Tuesday.
Just an observation for entertainment purposes.
Mhm.
Where we lived up in North Jersey, we routinely had bears,
Okay.
big bears, not like little bears down here, but
Mhm.
big bears in our yard.
Mhm.
And they would take those, if we had buckets like that, they would use them as play toys.
Right.
They'd drag them up in the woods and knock them all around,
And open them.
eventually get the top off and eat everything inside.
I don't think I've ever seen a bear in Hempstead.
No.
There has
Oh,
been
yeah,
one.
we've had bears.
Really?
Yeah, which one?
Right next to my
Walking
house.
through Creekview.
The bears down here are like
But I
little
think,
dogs.
They're
like
unusual.
little-
Right.
Okay. Very
I-
unusual.
I would say try to keep it inside until drop-off day or a day before drop-off day, and
No,
also.
I mean, it's not even relevant down here, I was just
Right.
making a point of, it would be different up in North Jersey.
Yes. Maybe you would need to put a chain around your bucket or something. But yeah, I think, as long as it's sealed all the way around, there shouldn't be any smells even emanating from your bucket at all. Like I said, in the 8 years that we've been doing this, we've never had a complaint about smells.
Or bears.
Or bears. But I do see definitely
will
chewed up
smell.
lids
They will
from
smell even
squirrels and critters.
If we have.
So that's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
They won't make it past the lid, but
They'll try.
yeah, they will try.
Okay. Awesome, well, thank you
Oh,
very much.
we got one more question.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can you collect meat scraps and bones and stuff?
Yes, you can put meat scraps, bones, seafood shells, any food scraps. Paper towels, shredded paper, napkins. That's most of it, yeah.
Like fruit
Plant
pits, all
waste.
that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Even so, like a lot of people like to also use it for like leftover grease in a frying pan. You can throw it in there. I would say not like an excessive amount, like not from a deep fryer,
Uh-huh.
but if there's residual oil, you can definitely throw that in there.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Any further questions? No, great.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you do want to sign up today, I believe there are
There-
QR codes on some of these.
Yes. Well, there was a QR code. It just didn't show up, but there is a QR code right here
Okay,
that
that will
people
take
can
you to
scan.
the website.
Yes.
The QR code, I think I've also posted it on Facebook on the Sustainable Jersey, or Sustainable Hainesville page.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Also, if you're not so tech savvy, then I could take your information and I can set you up manually. That would be fine.
So it's basically like signing up with an account, and then we self-service like our schedules, our
Yes.
buckets and all that.
Right.
Do you do billing through the site, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I can pull that up and I can show you guys.
And that's the discount code, been there 25.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's cute.
I think it was
Aaron,
Aaron,
yes.
sorry.
Anna, when you mentioned the Sustainable Hainesville, is that a website or Facebook
Sustainable
page?
Hainesville is a Facebook page.
Okay.
Right, the Green Team has a sort of subsidiary page on the township website that you get to through the Environmental Commission page. But most of the stuff that we post using Facebook and Instagram.
Oops. So this is my account. I need to pay my bill. This shows what it looks like when you sign into your dashboard. And this will show when your next service day is. This is showing any upcoming routes, and you can click on the calendar to see when your service days are. And you can look at it from like a month perspective as well. We look at July. See, so I'm serviced on Tuesdays. Also, if you go on vacation, you can just skip your service day so that our driver doesn't have to come to your house. But if you also go to your dashboard, one of the things that I like about this is that we weigh every single bucket that we collect. So we give back an environmental impact report. So this is how much I've diverted from landfills. This is how much compost that was produced from the food waste that I diverted. And this is a real metric of how much energy was created from the food waste that we collected. And these are some other fun metrics of like pounds of methane prevented from entering the atmosphere, and miles offset and gallons of gas diverted from sending to the landfill. So it's a nice little fun metric that we collect. And also, if you wanted to order any of those zero waste bags, you can just click on the shop and then you would see any of the fun products that we sell. This is like one of those kitchen compost caddies that I mentioned. Some people like to keep them next to their sink. You can pick whatever one matches your kitchen aesthetic. Doesn't have to be from us. I know Target sells a bunch of them, but also
How much are the buckets?
the buckets, like the
The
5 gallon
gallon,
buckets,
yeah.
that's included in the subscription. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so once you sign up, it just comes to your door.
But you
And
said we could buy additional ones, right?
yes, you can if you wanted to. That would be $20. But here's with the zero waste bags, if you wanted to purchase some of those for plastics or other things. And then your account and billing is right here. So. all
Does that
the
tell
information.
you what you'll take and what you won't, like
Um,
you had on the slide?
that's on our actual website. This is just
Okay.
your personal
Account, okay.
dashboard. Yeah.
Okay, thank
So
you.
all of that information is on our website. So if you go here, what can I unwaste? This is specific to the buckets. And then there's a more inclusive list down here. And you could always text or call us if you're curious. So, yes. Any questions? Any other questions?
Great, okay, thank you so very much.
Yeah,
That was
thank you.
Very informative.